Alright, what's going on, guys? Moxification here. So today, you can probably tell by the title, but I'm doing a video on like essentially what you'd need to know or what you need to do before getting a JTAG or RGH. This is for the people who are 100% getting a JTAG or RGH. This is for the people who are thinking about getting one. This is for the people who have potentially already got one but you haven't used it yet, or for the people who have ordered one. You know, JTAG or RGH, not just JTAG. But I will be referring to the RGH as a JTAG because it does the same thing. Maybe it's not the same thing, but it definitely does the same thing. So I'll just, you know, if I'm saying JTAG, I'm saying JTAG and RGH. Also, I've done videos in the past of this sort of topic, and I've also done videos in the past of why to get one and why to not get one. I will have a video coming soon about like you know, should you get one now in 2017. Time definitely changes things. I've done it before, you know, 6 months ago or however long ago it is, maybe even longer than that. Time does change, so it's like sometimes it changes for the good, sometimes it changes for the bad. I do have my own opinions on should you get one or not in 2017, but you know, it's just how it is. So I'll get a video out about that. But this is for the people who either don't have one yet, if you're planning on getting one or whatever. Yeah, so we'll get into it. So what I'll do is, for the background footage, I might have some gameplay. I'll probably have some gameplay, but I might put some screenshots up. We'll see. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do. But yeah. So the first thing that is the key thing that you want to do is research. So what I mean by that is, you know, this is like before you're getting a JTAG. You know, if you've already ordered one, you can't really research for this, but you want to make sure you're getting the right console. So it's like you want to research what motherboards there are. You know, like you want to research. You want to get a good console with boot times. You don't want to get a big block NAND. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's like you don't want to get a Xenon, for example, or you don't want to get a Zypher or a some people pronounce it differently. It's either Zephyr or Zypher. I think it's Zypher, but I could be wrong. But you don't want to get an Opus. There's so many consoles that you don't want to get, and it's like the main one, in my opinion, would be to go for a Jasper. That would be the 100% best one to go for. Make sure it's not a big block. And the thing about this, you want to learn the phrases, and it's like big block, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. To describe it, it's like usually what you have is on a console you have a NAND. So, you know, every single Xbox 360 will have a NAND, and the NAND size is so much bigger in a big block. It's like a 256 MB, whereas usually it's 16. I think it's 256. I could be wrong. It might be bigger than that. There are some that are like 512. So, you know, you can get one that's like half a gig, for example, like a NAND size. So when you're updating the dashboard, it could take a bit longer to do it because you're transferring files from place to place. And so if it's like half a gig, for example, it's, you know, it's got to transfer half a gig off the console, then back onto the console. So yeah, and you know, you want to learn all of these phrases. You want to learn what a NAND is. You want to learn what, you know, what console to get. There are better consoles than the Jasper, but personally I'd go for the Jasper because it's the last and best fat console made. Whereas like they got the Slim, you got the Trinity, then you got the Corona, and then the Corona 2. Essentially, you could go for the Corona, you could go for the Trinity. They are meant to be better than the fat consoles because they were slim, and they've got they're meant to have like hardware changes. They definitely do have hardware changes, but I'd say to go for the Jasper because it's good. It's a good, like, flawless console. I've had a few over the past couple of years, and none of them have, you know, red ringed, and none of them have had problems. So that's like a place to start. But you can go for whatever console you want. You know, some people will go for the cheapest one, which will probably be like a Xenon. You can absolutely go for the Xenon if you really want to go for it. But it's, you know, it will probably get red ring within a couple of weeks, couple of months. You know, like you're definitely going to get red ring eventually. It just depends when, you know. But yeah, so that's like the first thing to know. The second thing to know is you want to know how to once you've got the console in your hand, you want to know, how to set it up and get things working on it. Like the number one thing that you need, XCX menu. You absolutely require XCX menu to mess with stuff. I mean, you could use an equivalent to XCX menu. There's FX menu. There's people use FSD. There's a lot of different ones that people can use, but XCX menu, number one key, you need it, you require it, so you need to know how to set it up. So to set it up, it's really, really, really simple. And the thing about it is, it's like, if you can't set up XCX menu from looking at a tutorial, like, it's not just like there's, if you've got a low processing speed to where you can't listen to commands like 1, 2, 3, 4, like in a big list. Maybe you could watch the video, and if you go to YouTube or Google and you type in let's do it now, let me do it. I know you can't see me doing it because I'm like on my computer and this is like an audio recording, but let me go to XCX menu and then tutorial. There you go, XCX menu tutorial, or you could look up how to install XCX menu, or so on and so on. Like, you want to make sure it's genuine for a JTAG or RGH, not like for like your normal Xbox with a USB. Because if you're looking it up for a USB, it's going to be a load of scammers coming up. I mean, you can install XCX menu with a USB, but to your JTAG and not to your retail Xbox. So you wanna make sure that you can actually install that. You want to make sure you can follow the XCX menu tutorial. I've done videos on it myself. If you look up how to install XCX menu and then put Moxa next to it, maybe you might not even have to do that. But if you just look up how to install XCX menu, and then you could stick Moxa next to it if you wanted to, and then you could watch my tutorial of it. It's really simple, and it's like, if you can't follow that, there are blogs and forums where you can go and ask questions, and even follow a text tutorial if you're not good with following a video. And even if you can't do that, if you're at that point where you can't follow the video, you can't follow the forum and the blog, you're probably not going to be able to do anything with your JTAG, because that's just how it is. It's like, if you can't really get stuck into it, it's not really going to work out for you. And I suggest at that point, if that happens, you just sell your Xbox, because it's not going to be worth having it if you can't follow simple like stuff. Like, that's just how it is. And so it's also like this. A lot of people will come to me on a weekly basis, maybe bi-weekly basis, and people will come to me and ask how to do something, and it would have been millions times easier if you'd have just looked it up, because coming to me, it means that, number one, I have to know it. I probably do know it, depending on what it is, but you're coming to me and I have to recite the whole tutorial to you and then go over it. So I'm not going to do that. If these tutorials already exist, why do I have to copy and paste it to you? If you get what I'm saying, though, innit? Like, you understand. And so I'm totally good to link you stuff. Like, I'm totally good to link you how to do something. But if you look it up yourself, you'll get more into it and understand it more. That's just how it is, when I remember getting my I remember trying to install MW2 to my JTAG a really, 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 really long time ago. And to do it, it was like, you had to find a place on the internet somewhere that had forums. I think Seven Sins and TTG were about back then, but they weren't as big as they are now. Alright, but yeah, so basically what I was saying was, you're not going to be able to do anything else if you can't do that one first thing, the primary thing that you need. So after you've got that, you're basically good. There's a lot of things you can do while having XCX menu. You'll be, you'll be decent enough at it to where you can do that. That's like the first thing you'll need. Second thing, you'll need to learn how to do a load of things that are kind of more secondary, and you don't necessarily need to do them. Like, you probably won't need to do them now, like installing a game, which is definitely something that a lot of people will want to do, but it's secondary. It's like, still, you don't 1,000,000% need it. You could still not plug in, I mean, you can still stick discs in the disk drive and, real-time mod them. But yeah, so to install games, it's really simple, but it's one of them things you have to look it up, and it's all about research. That's what it's all about. And so I suggest that you don't download loads and loads and loads and loads of mod tools before you get it. A lot of people have said to me, I'm going to download your pack because you'll need it. You don't need the pack. You only need the pack if you've had a console for a while and you've got many different games and things on your Xbox that you want to mod. You're only really going to need that pack for those times. I've got a lot of stuff in both my packs. I've got the 10k pack and the 2k pack. Both of them have got a lot of stuff, and it's like a big file. I think the 2k pack's about 1.3 gig, and then the 10k pack it's a bit more than that. I forgot how much, but it's a bit more than that. It's probably like 2 gig, but you don't need that. You really don't need that, and so don't just download loads and loads and loads of things that you may or may not need. Only get the things that you 100% need. XCX menu, freestyle dash launch, Ninja plugins if you're gonna go on Ninja. There's only a select few things that you 100% will need. The other thing is, me personally, I don't condone, what do you call it? I forgot what it's called. Piracy. I was thinking of privacy. Piracy. I install all of my games to my JTAG using the original disc, because I have the original discs. You can get them from the internet. You can download games from the internet, from Pirate Bay and, all of these other websites. But I don't do that. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever downloaded a game from the internet illegally. It's not because it's illegal, it's just because I can't show myself doing that in a video. That would be seen upon as, it'd be bad. I know a lot of people have done it. I know a lot of people higher up than me. But if you're showing yourself doing something illegal in your country or whatever, and I'm pretty sure piracy is illegal in a lot of countries, can't really do that. So, but yeah, so basically, they're the key things that you need to do. You need to get the XCX menu good. You need to make sure you're getting the right console. Another thing would be, you don't need to get all these flashy lights on the console. If you're buying from someone who is modifying the console themselves, and it not like a reseller where they've got the Xbox and they're only selling this one Xbox. I'm talking about the guy, I'm just trying to think of someone who sells Xboxes. For example, Monoxide. I'm not, me and him are not partnered up in any way. He's never given me discounts. I'd never want discounts. It's all good, me and him. Like, I've bought many consoles in the past from him. Probably 3 consoles I think I've bought. I think I've had 3 consoles from him in the past. The last one, I did have a tiny problem, and I totally forgot to ask him about the big block. It just slipped out of my mind, and it turned out to be a big block. That was the problem. But it's all good. It doesn't matter. But you don't need to get all these flashy lights. It doesn't change the console any way apart from the physical look of it. And the only thing that I'd suggest to go for if you're gonna mod load of games is go for a big hard drive, possibly 250, 500 gig. Go upwards of that sort of range if you're planning on modding lots and lots and lots of games. Let's say upwards of 20 games. You want to go for a big-ish hard drive, because I've nearly run out. I think I've got like 7 gig left on my hard drive. I've got 120 gig hard drive. I could absolutely get a new hard drive and move everything across, but it's like, you could just, you should go for the stuff that's necessary. So if you're going to have this console for a long time, getting a Jasper or Trinity if you're going to have this console for a short while, maybe you don't need to get a Jasper, because a Jasper should last a long time. Maybe you could go for a Falcon or consoles below that. But just remember that if it's, you know, there's a massive spectrum. I don't think I can show you the picture. I don't think I've got the picture. But if you look up on the internet, you know, list of Xbox 360 consoles like made, you will see the different names, and you've got, I think it's, there's 8 different consoles, and it's, if I can remember this, Xenon, Zypher, Opus, Falcon, Jasper, then Trinity, then Corona, and then Corona 2. Those 8 consoles, is it 8? Yeah, I think it's 8. Those 8 consoles are like, the number one, the first one that was made, the Xenon, not good. Whereas the last one that was made, in my opinion, not good, but good. But the only reason I don't like it is because I just don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way the Corona looks. I don't like the way the Trinity looks. I only really like the way the fat consoles look. They just look so good. They just look so clean. But yeah, so Jasper, number one, go for that. If you can't go for that, maybe, you know, go down the list a bit. Falcon, you know, probably don't get an Opus, because I know there was a big problem with them. But, you know, you can go down the list if you want. But yeah, so I'm not too sure what I will put behind this footage. I mean, behind this voiceover. But hopefully I'll find something soon. I might have to repeat some footage, I'm not too sure. But yeah, so cheers for watching. Thanks, Moxification. And if you need any help, let me know in the comments. Just let me know. I'll try. You know, I'm sure other people in the comments will help as well. But yeah, thanks, Moxification. See you in the next video. Yeah, goodbye.